Okay, so number 1, remember these, if it's independent, it's different. Dependent is same. Inconsistent is same slope, different y-intercept. So anytime, if you have different slopes, it's automatically independent. So if it's different slopes, it's automatically independent. So looking at number 1, again, we want this to be in y equals mx plus b form. So for the first equation, how do I get it into y equals mx plus b form? Subtract 2x on both sides. So I have y is equal to, what comes next? Negative 2x plus 2. So what's my slope? Negative 2. And what's my y-intercept? 2. Go ahead. For the second one, how do I get it into y equals mx plus b form? I can subtract 2x on both sides. So I have negative 2 plus y is equal to negative 2x. What comes next?
Negative 2x.
What should I do next? Add 2. So y is equal to negative 2x plus 2. What is my slope?
Negative 2.
And what's my y-intercept? 2. So are my slopes the same?
Yes.
Yes. Are my y-intercepts the same?
Yes.
So what is it when it's same?
Dependent.
Dependent. Did you get the same slope and the same y-intercept?
But it came out negative.
All right, so we did number 2 together in class, so let's take a look at number 3. So for the first equation, what do I need to do first? Y equals mx plus b, so what should I do? Add 3x to both sides. So 2y is equal to 3x plus 2. What should I do next? Divide by 2. So y is equal to 3 over 2x. And what's 2 divided by 2? 1. In the second one, what should I do first?
Add 3.
I can add 3x. So I have 3x is equal to 2y minus 2. What should I do next?
Divide 3.
I need it to be y equals.
Plus 2.
So I have to move that 2 over to the other side, so plus 2. I'm just going to rewrite the order that I write it in, write the y on the left side. So 2y is equal to 3x plus 2. And then what should I do? Divide 2. So y is equal to 3 over 2x plus 1. Are my slopes the same?
Yes.
Yep, I have 3 over 2 and 3 over 2. Are my y-intercepts the same?
Yes.
Yep, I have 1 and 1. So are these independent, dependent, inconsistent? Dependent. Dependent is same. Number 3. Let's take a look at number 4. What's my slope in the first one?
Negative 1.
-1. What's my y-intercept?
Negative 2.
And then in the second one, what's my slope?
Negative 1.
What's my y-intercept? So are my slopes the same?
Yes.
Are my y-intercepts the same?
No.
So what is it when it's same slope, different y-intercept? Inconsistent. Any questions from this first section? Awesome. So we did number 5 together, so let's look at number 6. So in my first equation, what's my slope? -1, and what's my y-intercept? What's my y-intercept? -2. Come on, guys, wake up. So what should I put first in my graph?
Negative 2.
-2 on the y-axis. And then how do I do the slope of -1?
1.
down 1 to the right one, down 1 to the right one. And then just connect your points. For the second equation, what's my slope? 2 over 3, and what's my y-intercept? 3. So what's the first point I need to put? Point at 3. And then how do I do the slope of 2 over 3? Is it positive or negative? Up 2, right 3. So I could also go down 2 to the left 3. And then connect my dots. Where do these two lines intersect? Awesome, negative 3, comma 1. Remember, it's your x first, then your y. So negative 3, comma 1. For the first equation, number 7, what's my slope? Negative 5 over 1, and what's my y-intercept? Negative 3. So I'm going to put my first point at negative 3 on the y-axis. And how do I do the slope of negative 5 over 1? Down 5 to the right one. So I'm going to go down 5 to the right one. It'll be off the graph down here, but I can also go just the opposite of both directions. So instead of down 5, I'm going to go up 5 and to the left one. So my line looks like this. Now for the second one, what's my slope? Here, what's my slope? Negative 1 over 1, and what's my y-intercept? 1. So I'm going to put my first point at 1, and then how do I do the slope of negative 1 over 1? Down 1, right 1. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Could also go up 1, left 1, and then just connect your dots. Where do these two lines intersect? Negative 1, comma 2. Awesome. This is your x, that's your y. Any questions on that one? All right, let's look at number 8. First equation, what's my slope? 1/2. What's my y-intercept? Negative 1. So I'm going to put a point at negative 1. How do I do the slope of 1/2? Up 1, right 2. Up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2. For the next one, what's my slope? 1 over 2. What's my y-intercept? Negative 4. So I'm going to put a point at negative 4. And how do I do the slope of 1/2? Up 1 to the right 2. So up 1 to the right 2, up 1 to the right 2. Connect your points. Do these lines intersect? So what's my answer? No solution. So on the quiz, a lot of people just put parallel, or they didn't put anything, they just drew the picture. Your answer here would be no solution. If you don't put no solution, you get points taken off. So looking at number 9, do I have a variable that's isolated? Yeah. All right, so I have y isolated. So y is equal to negative 7x. What do I do with that negative 7x? Plug it in for what? Y, because it's y is equal to that. So I'm substituting this in for y. So I have negative 7x plus 5 times negative 7x is equal to 0. So negative 7x, what's 5 times negative 7x? Negative 35x is equal to 0. What should I do next? Combine like terms. So it's negative 7x minus 35x. Negative 42x is equal to 0. What should I do next? Divide both sides by negative 42. What's 0 divided by negative 42? 0. Just because you get 0 as an answer doesn't mean that it's no solution. It still works as an answer. So x is equal to 0. How do I find y? Plug it back in. So do I want to plug it into the first or the second? The first. Looks a little bit easier. So I have 7, or y, is equal to negative 7 times 0. What's negative 7 times 0? So what's y equal to? 0. How would I write my answer? 0, 0. Because I got 0 for x and 0 for y. So just because you get zeros doesn't mean you have no solution. That's an answer. 0 is a number. Let's do number 10. Do I have a variable that's isolated? Yep, I have y is equal to this. So what do I do with this? Plug it in for y. So I have 8x minus 2. Whenever you plug it in, you want to plug it in parentheses. So 3x minus 3 is equal to 8. What should I do next? Distribute. So I have 8x. What's negative 2 times 3x? Negative 6x. What's negative 2 times negative 3? Positive 6. What should I do next? Combine like terms. So what's 8x minus 6x? 2x plus 6 is equal to 8. Then what should I do? Minus 6. So 2x is equal to 2. And then what should I do last? Divide by 2, so x is equal to 1. So x is equal to 1 is one of my answers. How do I find another one? Plug it back in. Do you want to plug it into the first one or the second one?
First one and second one.
Second one looks a little bit easier. So let's do that. So y is equal to 3 times 1 minus 3. What's 3 times 1? And what's 3 minus 3? So y is equal to 0. So how would I write my answer? 1, 0. Any questions here? All right, number 11. Do I have a variable isolated?
Yeah, no.
Not yet. So how do I get that variable to be isolated? And which one?
The bottom.
The bottom, x or y? X. We want to get this all by itself, so what do I need to do?
The 2 y's.
Subtract 2y on both sides. So x is equal to, what comes next? Doesn't matter the order. So negative 2y minus 5. So this is x. What do I do with it? Plug it into x in the first one. So 6 times negative 2y minus 5 minus 2y is equal to 12. What should I do next? Distribute. So this would be negative 12y minus 30 minus 2y is equal to 12. What should I do next? Combine like terms. What's negative 12y minus 2y? Negative 14y minus 30 is equal to 12. Yes. And then what should I do? Add 30. So negative 14y is equal to 42. Divide by negative 14. So what's y equal to? Negative 3. So y is negative 3. How do I find x? Plug it in. So I'm plugging it into y. I'm going to plug it in here. So I have x is equal to negative 2 times negative 3 minus 5. What's negative 2 times negative 3? 6. And 6 minus 5? 1. So how would I write my answer? 1 comma negative 3. Always start with your x and then your y. So next we're solving by elimination. Do I have anything that'll cancel out right away? Yeah? Which variable, x or y? X. The 7x minus 7x cancels. So then I'm just going to add everything else together. So what's 8y minus y? 7y. And what's 16 minus 2? 14. So 7y is equal to 14. Then what should I do? Divide by 7, divide by 7. So what's y equal to? 2. So if y is 2, how do I find x? Plug it in. Do you want to plug it into the first or the second? Second. So I have negative 7x minus 2 is equal to negative 2. What should I do next? Add 2 on both sides. So negative 7x is equal to 0. Divide by negative 7. So what's x equal to? 0. So how would I write my answer? 0, 2. Awesome. Okay, so let's look at 14. Do I have anything that'll cancel out right away? Which one? The x's cancel. So then what's y minus y? 0. And 0 plus 0? Does 0 equal 0? So what is my answer here? Infinitely many solutions. Or you could put many solutions. Yeah. If you see that they all cancel, all 3 of them have to cancel for it to be infinitely many solutions. Yeah, if 0 equals 0, it's infinitely many solutions. Okay, let's do 15. Does anything cancel out right away? Nope. So what do I have to do? To which one? I want my x's to cancel here, so I would have to times 2 to everything here in my second equation. So my new second equation becomes 12x minus 8y is equal to 20. I'm going to rewrite my first equation right below it just so it's easier for me to add. So negative 12x plus 8y is equal to negative 26. Do the x's cancel out now? Yeah. What happens to the y's? They also cancel out. So what am I left with on the left side? 0. What am I left with on the right side? Negative 6. Is 0 equal to negative 6? So what would my answer here be? No solution. And then we did 16 together in class yesterday. Any questions here on elimination? All right, last page we have graphing our inequalities. So anytime it's the inequalities, you know you're going to have to shade. And then it could be a solid line, it could be a dotted line. So if it's greater than or less than, it's a dotted line. If it's greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it's a solid line. So let's look at 17, the first one. What's my slope? Negative 2. What's my y-intercept? 1. So where's my first point going to go? At 1 on the y-axis. And then how do I do the slope of negative 2? Down 2, right 1. So down 2, right 1, down 2, right 1. Do I have a solid line or dotted line here? Dotted line. And then I need to figure out where I'm going to shade. So what do I plug in to see where I shade? I can plug in 0, 0 here. So I'm plugging in 0, 0 into my original equation. So 0 is less than negative 2 times 0 plus 1. So 0 is less than 1. Is this true?
Yes.
Yep, so where do I shade?
Right, left.
Where 0, 0 is, so that's to the left. Over here. So that's our first equation. Let's do the same exact thing with the second one. So what's my slope in the second equation?
Negative.
-1/2. Brioni, what's my y-intercept here? In the second equation.
2.
+2 or -2?
Negative 2.
-2. So I'm going to put a point at -2. And how do I do the slope of -1/2? Which way do I go? Up or down?
Down.
Down and left or right?
Left.
Always go to the right. If it's negative, you go down. If it's positive, you go up. But always go to the right. So down 1 to the right 2. Down 1 to the right 2. Do I connect these with a solid line or dotted line? Dotted. So I have a dotted line going this way. And what's the last thing I have to do? Shade. So what do I plug in to see where I shade? 0, 0. So I have 0 is less than -1/2 times 0 minus 2. So 0 is less than -2. Is this true? No. So where do I shade? Where 0, 0 is or where it's not? Where it's not, because it's not true. So that would be on this side of the orange line. And then what's the last step? Once I've shaded everything, what should I do next?
Remove
Erase whatever's not in common. So then that's your answer. You just keep what's overlapping and you want to keep your lines too. Do you guys have any questions here? All right, we did 18 together in class, so there's 18. Let's look at 19. So 19, first equation, what's my slope? 1/1. And what's my y-intercept? 2. So I'm going to put a point at 2 and do the slope of 1/1. So I'm going to go up 1, right 1. Up 1, right 1, up 1, right 1. Do I connect these with a solid line or dotted line? Dotted line. And then what should I do next? Jordan, what should I do next?
You should do the other one.
Before I do that, it's an inequality, so what do I have to do?
0.
Shade, so I'm going to plug in 0, 0. So 0 is less than 0 plus 2. Is 0 less than 2?
Yeah.
Yep, that's true. So where am I going to shade? Where 0, 0 is or where it's not?
On the right side.
On the right side, so where it is over here. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. Lucas, what's my slope? -2. And what's my y-intercept? -1. So I'm going to put a point at -1. And how do I do the slope of -2?
2 down and 1 to the right.
Down 2 and right 1. Awesome. So I'm going to go down 2 to the right 1. Do I have a solid line or dotted line here?
Solid.
Solid. So connect these with a solid line. And then what should I do?
0, 0.
I need to figure out where I shade, so I'm going to plug in 0, 0. So I have 0 is greater than or equal to negative 2 times 0 minus 1. So 0 is greater than or equal to negative 1. Is this true?
Yes.
Yes. So do I shade where 0, 0 is or where it's not?
Or it's not.
If it's true,
Oh, where it is.
well, you shade where it is. So that would be on the right side over here.
What they need.
So then I erase everything except what's overlapping. So I'm going to erase up here and down below. Do you guys have any questions here? All right, one more. And it's when we're done with this one. It starts at 10. All right, so what's our slope for our first equation? 3. What's my y-intercept? Negative 2. So I'm going to put a point at negative 2. How do I do the slope of 3? Which way do I go? Up or down? Up, because it's positive, so I go up 3 and to the right 1. Up 3 to the right 1. Do I connect these with a solid line or dotted line? Solid. And then what's next? If it's an inequality, what else do I need to do? Shade. So I'm going to plug in 0, 0. So I have 0 is less than or equal to 3 times 0 minus 2. So 0 is less than or equal to negative 2. Is this true? No, not true. So do I shade where 0, 0 is or where it's not? Where it's not. So that would be on the right side over here. All right, for the second one, what's my slope?
It is
Negative 2 over 1. And what's my y-intercept?
2.
3. So where do I put my first point? At 3. And how do I do the slope of negative 2 over 1?
Down 2 to the right.
Down 2 to the right 1, down 2 to the right 1. Do I connect these with a solid line or dotted line?
Solid.
Solid. All right, what's next? What's next? What's my graph missing? Shade. So what can I plug in? 0, 0. So 0 is less than or equal to negative 2 times 0 plus 3. 0 is less than or equal to 3. Is this true? Yeah. So where do I shade? Where 0, 0 is or it's not? Where it is. So over here. And then what else do I have to do?
Delete what's not needed.
Erase everything that's not overlapping.